He's won. He had a ton of game reps, in 2015. Didn't get a lot of opportunities last year because of injury. But he's a guy that is almost a calming force in that room. He's got a really good demeanor. He's a great program guy, high character young man. Goes about his business, works hard, and can provide some leadership for some of the younger guys. But also the production is something that we certainly missed a year ago. And I think he's got the ability to be a difference maker for us there.
Can you account for why you guys struggled so much with the pass rush? Was it as simple as being not at full strength?
I think that was a part of it. Obviously that's something that we've got to continue to address, is trying to find guys that we feel like can get after the passer and win one-on-ones. And I think Grant's a guy that's taken some real steps for us. He's had a very good the first 3 days, and I think when you bookend it with a guy like Tyrone, and Derek Marks is a good natural pass rusher as well, that gives us some opportunities to hopefully improve that facet.
Tucker Yates, was injured last year a little bit. What's his motivation this year, do you think?
Tucker's a war daddy. That guy, he loves football. He works his tail off. He's a coach's kid. He's actually trimmed down a little bit. He's more explosive, and he's a really smart football player. And so, you could say he's undersized, but he's almost a 300-pound guy. He's 295. He was over 300 last year. And so it's not like he's an undersized guy. I think he's plenty big enough to be a dominant player in this league, especially with his level of football intelligence. And so having him back at full strength again is something I think benefits us in our interior defensive line.
Was that a concerted effort to slim down a little?
Yeah, one of the things we talked about is, the edge part of the pass rush is really important. But, hey, we need to have some guys that can win one-on-ones inside, too, because if we are bringing pressure and you get a one-on-one, we've got to be able to do that. And I think that one of his motivations was to become a little bit more effective pass rusher, and felt like having a little more twitch, a little bit more quickness off the ball. By losing a few pounds, that was going to benefit him.
What's that pecking order going to look like opposite Grant? Do you envision all those guys kind of?
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those deals where, hey, we've got, you got Finch. I think Michael will be back in the mix here shortly. We may have to do some stuff with Derek or Ballou in nickel packages, or even Mac. And so you got guys like Ballou and Mac that I think are dynamic guys off the edge, even though they're maybe not prototypical in terms of their size. I think they can create a lot of problems with their quickness and athleticism for offensive tackles. And so we've got to be a little bit creative there. Everybody wants guys that are 6'4" and run really well and look like Tarzan. But sometimes football players come in all shapes and sizes, and so we just can't put those guys in a box. If they have the ability to affect the quarterback on the edge, then we'll try to put some packages together to allow that to happen.
Marcus continued to progress as well?
Absolutely. I think he's a guy that just year by year, he's gained more weight, he's gained more confidence. He's really a glue guy for us on the D-line.
You said in the first day of practice, their D-line is bigger, they're stronger. Have you seen any other improvements or any other noticeable point-outs from last year, this year's D-line?
I think they're smarter. I think they've been in the system for a year. We're running the same defense. Bryson McCabe brought up the other night, he was saying that he'd never been in the same defense in his entire college career, because even after his first year here, they kind of changed some scheme stuff when Kane took over as a coordinator. And then we come in that last year and it changes, and this is only the first time in his career that he's playing the same defense 2 years in a row. And so that helps both him, but it helps our defensive line as well.
Year 2 under this staff, how does it feel to be back out here playing football?
It feels really good. It's been a huge leap since last year. I think it's been, almost 100% difference between the 2 years. Just the way the coaches are coaching us and how we're used to them and how they're used to us. And it's just going a lot smoother so far this year.
Awesome. What are some of the biggest differences you've seen or felt?
Again, I think we're just kind of, we know how Coach Choate works. He knows how we work. He knows the players now. I think that's the biggest difference. Is we're finally clicking. Everything's clicking together.
Awesome.
Yep.
Battled some injuries. How you feeling health-wise?
Good, really good. I think I'm 100% ready to roll. Yeah.
Awesome. And I know that there's been a conversation about you losing some weight.
Yeah.
How much you weighing right now?
This morning I weighed in about 286, 287. But that's because of fall camp and so. But I've been hanging around about 290. 290-ish. I like to stay around in there.
And what are some differences you felt losing some weight?
I just feel all around better. I'm more flexible. Maybe not quite as strong as I used to be, but I'm more explosive, faster, and I think it's going to help me a lot this year, I think.
Awesome. And at least from the initial look of it, it looks like there's some more depth on that defensive line.
Oh yeah.
How does that feel?
Oh, I mean, we've got, I mean, every single one could play as a 1. I mean, Chase Benson, he's a great player. He's a young player, but he's playing really good. Derek Marks, Tyrone. I mean, everyone's playing at that level where they could be starters. So, I mean, it's going to be great for us just to roll in with the 1s and 2s, be able to roll dudes out all the time. It's going to be good for us.
Were you surprised last year by Derek's emergence playing early? Kind of had to, but
after I saw him in fall camp and I saw how he works, no, I wasn't surprised at how he is. I mean, that dude works his butt off every time. Hey, Log. He works his butt off every play, and he's hustling around. Never takes a play off. Never takes a drill off. He eats right. Does everything right. So I mean, no, I'm not surprised at all how he's playing.
Awesome, man. Last question for you. What's the identity of this defense going to be early in fall camp? But similar to last year, or are you guys going to crank it up a little bit?
I think our identity is toughness first and foremost, but getting the ball is definitely a big emphasis point for us, is trying to get turnovers, creating turnovers, and that's what we're going for.
You too, man. How's it feel to be back out here playing football?
It feels great. I feel a lot more comfortable, and just being out here, having a year under our belt, and having a fall camp under my belt, so it's a lot of fun.
Both you and the coaching staff's first year last year. What are some differences that you've seen now moving into year 2?
Just a lot more camaraderie as far as we know how Coach Hout's going to coach us, and we know what he expects, and we know the standards, and we know the culture that they want, and so we're going to do our best to set the standard with the young guys coming in, as well as continue to raise the standard as we get older.
Awesome, man. When you're out in the field now that you had a full year of quite a few reps in game time, do you feel more comfortable at the college level now?
Oh yeah, I feel way more comfortable, and things are starting to slow down, and now it's just time to compete.
Yeah, no doubt. How much you weighing right now?
250.
Awesome. So you put on a little bit of weight, right? From last year, you came in about what?
Yeah, 230.
230. So how's that weight been? Different?
Yeah, it's much better. As far as stopping the run, it's a lot.
All around as a group.
I wouldn't say it's easier to hold my gap, but it's yeah, I don't know. I feel so much better at 250 than I did at 230 a year ago.
No doubt, man. Some depth on the defensive line. What's it like having some leaders like Tyrone and Tucker and Zach? Establishing some depth, having leaders like that, does it feel good to be a full unit?
Yeah, it feels really good. We're just trying to. I mean, as a D-line, we have goals for ourselves, and we have a high standard. And having these guys like Tucker and Tyrone and Zach and Brandon and Foe, all those guys, they just have a high motor, and we can really learn from that. And yeah, hopefully get after the quarterback this year. And
speaking on getting after the quarterback, pass rush will be important no matter what at every level. So where is that going to come from this year? And do you feel like it falls on you a little bit at this exact moment?
I think it falls on all our edge rushers. I think all our edge rushers have potential to get to the quarterback, but yeah, like I said, watching their motor, watching Tucker Yates' motor when he's getting after the quarterback, I mean, anybody can learn from that. So I'm taking that and using that out on the edge, and yeah, I think as we continue to get more comfortable with how the tackles are setting, and yeah, using our hands and whatnot, we're gonna get there. We're hungry to affect the quarterback, and we're really looking to get after the quarterback this year.
All right, Zach, year 2 with this staff. How's it feel to be back out in the field?
Feels good. It's exciting. Got a new season on the way, and just ready to get back after things.
Yeah, man. After an All Big Sky nod last year, you come back. You battled a little bit of an injury last year, but played through it. How do you feel health-wise, and how do you feel mentally now that you start the season?
I feel way healthier. The goal is to just stay healthy through fall camp, because last year I had a little trouble with that, but I'm hoping that I can get into this season, stay healthy, and be able to just do the best I can.
Awesome. So this summer, how was your weight training? How was your conditioning? How much you weighing right now? Did you gain any weight, lose any weight?
I gained a little weight. I'm sitting around 270, but conditioning was good, weightlifting was good. It was just another time to grind and try to get better, get prepared for the season.
No doubt, man. Defensively, it seems that there's a little bit more depth on that front line. What does that mean for you, especially a guy that had to play so many reps last year? And are you appreciative of the guys that are kind of stepping up behind you?
Oh yeah, I'm so excited. It was the tough thing is when we started losing guys last year, it was getting tough. You get in those long drives, those long games where you don't have any fresh legs. So what I'm really excited about is that even our second string is really, really strong. They're not any less than we are. It's like round 2. So it's it's really exciting to get a bunch of guys in that kind of depth. I'm hoping we can do a lot of good things this year.
Awesome. We just talked to Coach Hout about Chase Benson, a guy that didn't play last year, not necessarily out of need, but a guy that maybe could have. You see him stepping up. He's kind of a specimen. What do you think of a guy like him? What could he do in this defense?
Chase showed up and we all joked around. He's like a grown man in like a kid's body. Like, it was just, he blew our mind because you'd get in there and you'd see like this freshman come in and just throw up these insane weights. So it's like he's super strong and he's got great speed. He's just a great athlete. So it's getting to see him develop and turn into a better football player. He's going to be able to contribute so much to this program.
And another kid, Derek Marks, who played last year a lot, kind of held down that defensive end spot. Were you surprised by him last year? And obviously you see him contributing this year.
I wasn't really surprised by Derek. If you know the guy, he's extremely intelligent. He's one of the hardest workers. It's like we have optional lifts on Saturdays. He's there every time. He's always doing something. So him succeeding just makes sense.
No doubt. And last question for you. What's the identity of this defense now, year 2 under Coach Ty? What are you guys looking to do?
I would say as a defense, it's mainly about we have to stick together when things get tough. We have to be able to put pressure on the quarterback, stop the run. Just mainly the hard-nosed defense, the hardest-nosed defense we could be.
Coach, day 3, year 2 for you guys. How's it feel to be out here, get some pads on?
Oh, it feels great. It's the best time of the year. Get out here and grind, and couldn't ask for a better day in Bozeman. We've got a slight breeze, and first time out really on the new turf, you know, this fall, and there's always just kind of an excitement and an energy that being out here on our own field brings, and so I think our guys really felt that today.
What did you see the last 3 days from camp from Marcus?
Marcus Verder has just been a guy that does things the right way and does what I call the little things the right way. He's always going to be in the right alignment. He's always going to have perfect technique, and he needs to because he's a little bit undersized, but he plays with such a great motor and he plays with such great technique and fundamentals that I know Marcus is going to give me exactly this every time. He's not going to be up and down. And so I can game plan with Marcus, and so that's the great thing about having him as a part of our unit.
Overall, as a unit, it seems like there's a little bit more depth this year. Maybe some injuries, haven't come quite yet. But with more depth, do you feel like you can roll more guys? Do you feel like you have an ability to get after the quarterback a little bit better?
Yeah. Anytime we have more depth means that guys are taking less reps, guys are fresh, and so that ability allows our guys to get out there and have a little bit more in their tank when they're rushing the passer. They're not spending all they have for 8 plays in a row. They might be going 4 plays and then come out. And so definitely having a lot of depth right now helps us not only get a lot of guys reps, but keep us fresh, and hopefully that keeps us healthy down the line.
What's your biggest focus with this D-line, the biggest thing they need to improve on from last year going into this season?
One of the things that we talked about all winter break and spring ball was developing better as pass rushers, and so becoming better pass rushers and giving ourselves more tools in our toolbox as pass rushers will allow us to get after the quarterback, hopefully cause some turnovers, and like I always tell those guys, it starts with us up front. It starts with a great get off in your pass rush, and then we're able to affect the quarterback and affect his throw or even get a sack.
The guys seem to be a little bit on the defensive line, a little bit more muscular. They look like they've improved in the weight room a little bit. Do you feel that as a coach?
Yeah, I think it's a noticeable difference, these guys, from where they were last year to this year. I think Alex Wilcox did a hell of a job getting these guys, and everybody in the strength conditioning program that was involved this summer did a hell of a job with these guys, and likewise the D-line bought into it, and they really improved their physique, and it's noticeable out here because you're not seeing them as tired, but you're seeing them stronger as well. You're not seeing them getting blown off the ball as much because they have that strength. And Tucker, for example, Tucker was a guy that came in at I think he was above 300 pounds in the spring, and now he's under 280, 290, I think he is what he weighs right now, and he's moving great. And that's a testament to his work ethic. He's a guy that lives and dies in the weight room just like Chase Benson. And really a lot of those guys up front have bought into the weight room, and that's what you need to do.
A guy like Chase Benson, do you anticipate him taking a big step this year? A guy that didn't play last year. Do you see him participating quite a bit in that rotation?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, Chase could have been a guy that came in and played for us last year had we needed, an emergency. But that year of him developing in the weight room more, learning the defense, I'm really excited about his growth because I think the scheme part of the football has really improved. The mental side, obviously Chase is going to be a physical specimen just because of who he is and what he likes to do in the weight room. But the mental part is where I've challenged Chase the most on, and so far in the first 3 days, I don't think the kid's had one bust, and so that's been really, really exciting for me.
All right, Coach. I haven't had a chance to talk to you since camp started, but got the pads on today, year 2. How's it feel to be out on the turf and get the pads on?
It feels good. It was good to transition into the turf because we spent the first hour out on the grass, and it was cool to be in here working on the new turf. It's nice, it looks good, feels good, and it's a little more crisp, and I think the film is a little better in here, and so we went into our red zone periods today, and it's nice when we're watching the film and everything just looks a little bit better in here than it does on the grass. So yeah, it was good.
Defensively, there's some guys that came back, a lot of new faces on the team overall, but defensive line-wise, it seems that there's a lot more depth there this year.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, we've invested in the front, and you can see that. I think we got legitimate depth at our front 4 spots, and so like I was just telling the other fellas, we got to keep them healthy, keep them working, keep them learning, and just keep fostering that. I think it's a real leadership group. I mean, you got a lot of veterans there. I mean, even a guy like Derek Marks, who's a true sophomore, the kid's played in a lot of football last year, playing in 11 football games. So, say hi. Can you say hi? Hi, everybody. So it's just between Derek, Tyrone Faunona, Tucker Yates, Brandon Hayashi, Grant Collins is working his butt off. I mean, I called Grant out last night in front of the defense, basically just saying the energy and effort that you're bringing. Thank you, appreciate it. That you're bringing every day is the way it should be, and so I'm really proud of Grant and what he's doing, and you just got a good group up there. I mean, it's a talented group, but they also know how to work, and that's why I love. Thank you, sweetheart. That's why I love our front 4/8 right now. And then when we get into some pass rush situations, we're looking for the best pieces, and we didn't get after the quarterback enough last year in the way we need to, and we got to affect and confuse and pressure the quarterback, and in doing so, our pass defense will become a lot better too, and so that's a huge point of what we're trying to get done in camp, in situational football and getting takeaways, but really trying to get some pressure on the quarterbacks.
That's obviously going to come from the ends most often. Derek Marks, a guy that played a lot last year, gained a little bit of weight.
Yeah, he looks good. He's about 250 pounds
awesome.
Right now, which I think ideally we'd love him in the 260, 65 range, but that'll come. He's still a 19-year-old kid. So
what about a guy in the middle like Chase Benson, a guy that maybe could have played last year, but goodness.
Yeah, he looks the part.
Yeah, he does.
If I looked like him, I'd walk around with sleeveless shirts most of the year, including winter.
Do you see him contributing this year?
I do. He's a guy that just needs to keep learning. The kid works. I mean, he's one of our weight room war daddies, and obviously he looks the part. I mean, the boy he is a well put together kid. So proud of the summer he had. Proud of the summer all of them had. They were all here. I mean, all these guys were here. I mean, our attendance was unbelievable. So it'll be exciting to see what steps are made, because I think there was a lot of good strides made last year, but we're nowhere close to where we need to be.
I talked to Coach Hout briefly about the guys look a little different up front. Some guys lost weight, some guys gained weight. It seemed to be kind of the right mixture for each guy. Are you happy with the way they're looking, muscle, physique-wise?
Yeah. I mean, we don't have a ton of length. You look at Grant and Michael Jobman and Kyle Finch and and even Chase. I mean, some of those guys look the part in terms of being 6'4 plus, but we don't have a ton of it. So, thanks, Woody. Appreciate it. It's all right. But in terms of their conditioning and their strength levels, man, they do look good, and it's a compliment to Coach Wilcox, and then a compliment to the kids themselves, because they really did put in the work. You can tell.
And we lastly for you, just the identity. Is it going to be different than year one moving forward? Do you expect more as far as taking away the ball and getting the quarterback?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I said it in today's practice. We can't be front runners. We can't start the practice off with high energy and get a takeaway or two, and then not finish well. And I thought we did finish well, and that was kind of what happened last year. You know, we started off, you know, at one point leading the nation after a month of football or whatever in takeaways, and then we went a month without getting one. You know, we couldn't pay the other team to give us the ball. So we got to put a full fall camp together. We got to put a full season together, and not just a great month or a great practice or a great week of practice. We can't be front runners anymore, and I think that we've been that a little bit, and so we got to put it all together and keep working, and it does start up front, and so I love the leadership and the fellows we got, you know, kind of our war daddies or bell cows on the defense, and that's the way it should be.